Hi, I'm Matthew Manders, one of the technical trainers with WMS, and today we're going to talk about the Flintstones conversion, and we're going to show you how to put on some of the newer components that are unique to this game. So with the game, some of those components are these two side panels, which have these two screw holes and these keyholes, which the shroud is going to set into. There's one on the left and one on the right hand side. There's also two brackets in the back, which I'm going to talk about. I'll show you the technical documentation drawing, and I'll talk about those. Those need to be installed, plus the top is different. One of the things that we have to be concerned about is the tower light. So the tower light is, our standard bank tower, and if you have two of these EGMs side by side, this will go on, one will go on the right, one will go on the left, so it's outside of the marquee. If it's standalone, it goes on the right hand side, and it goes facing this way with the bow to the right. So one of the new components is the shroud, which houses the wheel and covers some of the upper components. So in order to put the shroud on, once the side panels are on, you're going to take your shroud here. You're going to notice on the back, these are the two keys for the two keyholes here and here. And you just put this on and slide it into those keyholes. And then slide it down, and then tighten your two thumb screws. The next thing we're going to install is the power supply for the top box. First thing you want to do is you want to open up the hinge for the monitor. Next thing you're going to want to do is there's some components that you're going to want to loosen. Here it is. And in order to loosen these sections, you're going to need an 11/32 inch nut driver. First thing, if you have a cable tie here, you're going to want to remove it because it will block the power supply. And then you're going to want to loosen this nut that's holding that cable tie and this nut here holding this cable tie. Loosen them, do not remove them all the way because the power supply will fit. It's a bracket and will fit underneath both of those. Next thing you want to take off is if you have the two circuit boards or one circuit board that are usually on the Gamefield games for the top boxes, those are going to be removed and returned. If the power connection or power coupler is here, you're also going to want to remove that. Or if it is the right one, you'll need to check and make sure your part is correct depending on the conversion that you're doing. But you'll want to take all of the nuts off of those. Also, you're going to want to take off this power switch because we're going to need to plug a cable in here. And it's difficult to plug in if it's still connected to the game. So I'm going to take this off right now, and I'll show you how you install this power supply. Best way to do the power supply, you'll see it's bracket. The two brackets, one side will go underneath the screw on the right hand side, and one goes, make sure your cables are out of the way, one goes underneath the bracket on the left hand side. Make sure they're in. Some of these fit pretty snug. And then once they're behind, push it down and it should go directly down like that. So now your power supply is in. Your power supply will, off of the power supply here, you have this power cable. This power cable is going to plug into this side right here. Then this goes back on to the EGM. That way the cable is in right. Screws in. And then put your three nuts back on this. On this side, you'll have your power connection for the top box. You're going to want to make sure that the single hole is up. The two holes are on the right hand side. You want to run this cable to the top. I'm going to close this because it's easier to do if you close this to run this cable. So this is going to connect right here. You're going to want the cables to come across the top. And then you'll put your your nuts back on here. There are 3 of them. Once that's on, you route this cable through these cable organizers. Okay, and you'll want this, when you close this, to be in this position here. We have the fan plug here. And we've got another fan plug over here. Next, we're going to install the cans that go on the right and left hand side. So for the right hand side can, we have here, you're going to have 2 keys that go in these 2 keyholes at the top. I'm going to just fit that in and drop it. On the other side, it's the same thing. You have your 2 keys and your 2 keyholes at the top. Then you will tighten your 2 thumb screws, one on the left and this one on the right. The next piece we're going to install is the bracket that the monitor sits on. This bracket allows the monitors to sit in the horizontal position rather than the vertical position. Also, this would be the landscape position versus the portrait location. So you have your bracket, which is here. You're going to take the side that has the anchors, and those anchors fit into these 2 anchor holes. Remember that one of them is longer than the other, so the bottom is longer. So you want to fit the bottom one in first, and then fit the top one on top of that. Then take your lock and lock this into place. All right, the next thing we're going to install is the monitor. And like I said, the monitor sits horizontal, or it fits in landscape mode versus portrait mode. On the back of the monitor, there's a bracket that has 2 hinges. These 2 hinges sit on these 2 bars. So I'm going to put this on there. And also you'll notice on the monitor there are handholds on either side. And your monitor is on. The next piece we're going to put on is the wheel. The wheel's very easy to put on. There are 2 thumb screw holes that you'll need to connect it to, and there are 2 bars that it fits into. So here's the wheel. Pick the wheel up, put it on the other side. You can see where the 2 thumb screws line up. Once they're lined up, you will tighten the 2 thumb screws. There is a power connection that plugs into the other side. thing likes to come out. Okay. There's a power connection here that plugs into this power here. You're good. Now we need to make sure we have all of our cable connections. We have a 4-pin here on the left-hand side that's going to plug into the can. You just kind of need to find where the 4-pin is and connect this one. There's another 4-pin on the other side for the other can. Do the same. This connection here plugs in here. This power connection plugs into the switch. Your video cable plugs in here. The monitor power will plug in here. And that's it. Close the top box. You're going to want to apply pressure right here and be forceful, but not forceful enough to break it when you're closing it, so it hits the top latch. And then once you have all 3 latches, once you have all 3 of the latches engaged, you're good.